女士们、先生们，上午好。
Ladies and
欢迎
gentlemen,
大家
good
出席今
morning.
天的新闻发布会。
Welcome to today's press
今天中
conference.
国国务院新闻办公
At
室
today's press conference,
举行新闻
the
发布
State
会，
Council Information Office
携手
will
构建
release
人类命
the
运
white
共识
paper titled
中
A
国的
Global
倡议与
Community
行
of
动
Shared
提出
Future, China's Proposals and Actions.
发布会将介绍
This press
和
conference
解读
will focus
这本
on
白皮书的主要
introducing
内容，
and illustrating
这
on
本
this
白皮
white
书
paper.
深入贯彻习近平新时代
Guided
中国
by
特色
Xi
社会
Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese
贯彻
characteristics
习近平外
for
交
a
思
new
想
era and Xi
系
Jinping
统
thought
阐述
on
构
diplomacy,
建人类命运
the
共
white
同
paper
体现的
elaborates
时代背
on the
景、
context,
丰富内涵、
substance,
实践路径和世
pathways,
界意义，
and global significance of building a community with a shared
构
future,
建人类命运共同
presents
体的
China's
行
actions
动
and
和贡献，
contribution to building such a
呼
community,
吁各国弘
and
扬
calls
全
on
人
all
类共
countries
同价
to
值，
champion common
携
values
手构
of
建
humanity,
人类命运
join
共同
hands
体，
to build a community
建
with a
设
shared
更加
future
美好的世界。
and create a better future.
白皮书有前言、正文
This white paper
和
includes a
结束语
preface, a main body,
部分
and a conclusion.
总共2万
In
里篇幅
total, 22,000
其中
words.
正文包括5个部分，
There are 5 parts in the main body.
分别是一，
They are
人类站在
number 1, humanity
历史
at
的
a
深处；
crossroads.
二，解答
Number
时代之
2,
问，
an
描
answer to the
绘
call of the
未来
times
愿景；
and a blueprint for the future.
三，扎根
Number
深
3,
厚历史文化
deep roots in history and cultural traditions.
既有目标方
Number
向，
4,
也
direction
有
and
实现路
path.
径。五，中国既
Number
是倡导
5,
者，也
China's
是
action
行动派。
and contribution.
白皮书以中英法
The white paper
俄
is
德
released
西
in
阿日
Chinese, English, French,
8个语
Russian,
法
German, Spanish, Arabic,
由人民出
and
版社
Japanese, in total
万文
8
出版社
languages.
分别出
It
版，
is published by People's
在
Press
全
and
国
foreign
新
language
华书店
press
发行。
and sold at Xinhua bookstores
为了
across
帮
the
助大
country.
家更好了
To
解，
give you a better
白皮书的内
understanding
容，
of the white
我
paper,
们邀请了
we have
中共
invited
中央政治局委员、
Mr. Wang Yi,
外交部部长
member of the
王毅
Political
先生、
Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Minister
中共
for
中
Foreign
央对外
Affairs,
联络部副部长
Mr.
郭
Guo
叶周
Yezhou,
先生、
Vice Minister of the International Department of the
国家
CPC
发展改
Central
革委
Committee,
副主任
Mr.
丛
Cong
亮
Liang,
先生、
Vice Chairman of the National Development and
文
Reform
化
Commission,
和旅游部副部
Mr.
长
Li Chun,
国家文
Vice
物局局
Minister
长李
of
群
Culture
先生，
and Tourism,
国家国际发展
Mr.
合作署
Zhao
副署
Fengtao,
长
Vice
赵
Chairman
丰
of
涛
the
先
China
生
International Development Cooperation
发布会
Agency.
介绍有关情况，并
They will
回
brief
答
you on the
大
white
家
paper
关心的问
and
题。
take your questions.
首先，请王毅先生
Now,
介绍
I give the
白
floor
皮书的有
to
关情况。
Mr. Wang Yi.
各位来宾、各位同事、朋友们，
Distinguished guests, dear colleagues,
很高
friends,
兴啊，今天同大家我们
I'm
共同来见
delighted
证
to witness, together
携手
with
构
all of
建
you, the
人类命运
release
共同
of
体
the white paper,
中国
A
的
Global Community
倡议与
of
行
Shared
动
Future,
这本
China's
白皮书的报告。
Proposals and Actions.
白皮书是一部
The white paper
系统地
is an
阐述
important document
构建人类
that
命运共同
systematically
体
expounds on the
理念
theories
思想内
and
涵
practices on building a
深度
community
实
with
践
a
的
shared future
重要的
for
文献
mankind.
是深入贯彻
Its
习近平新
release
时代
is an
中国特
important
色社
step
会思
in
想
implementing Xi Jinping
和习近
thought
平
on
外交
socialism
思
with
想的
Chinese
重要体现。
characteristics for the new era and Xi
希
Jinping thought
望
on
白皮书
diplomacy.
的发布
We hope
能够
it will
帮助
help
各界
people
人士
from
和
across
国际社
sectors
会
and the international
更加
community
全面领会
to better
人类命运
understand
共同体的
the
深远意
significance
义
of a community with a
更
shared
加明
future
确地
for
了解
mankind
中国
and
特色
the goals
大国
of
外交的
China's
功能
major country diplomacy with Chinese characteristics.
今年
Friends,
是
this year
习
marks
近
the
平主席
10th
提
anniversary
出构建
of the
人类
vision
命
of
运共
building
同
a
体的
community
理
with
念
a shared future
10周年
for mankind put forth by
10年
President Xi
前
Jinping. 10 years ago,
世界怎么了？
to
我们
answer
怎
the
么办？
questions raised by the world,
这一深刻的世界之问、历史之
by
问、
history and by the
时代
times,
之问，
what has happened to the world
Xi
and how should we respond?
大胆
President
领袖
Xi
的
demonstrated
宽广
a
战
broad
略视野
strategic vision,
卓越政治智慧，
outstanding political wisdom,
强烈
and
使
a
命
strong
担当
sense of responsibility
创造性地
as
提
leader
出
of a major country
构建
and a
人类
big
命运
political party, and creatively put
在历
forward
史
the vision.
转折关头，
This
为世界发
initiative
展
pointed
指
the
明
right
正确
direction for
方
the
向
world at a
在变
historical
乱
juncture
交织之际，
and at a time of changes and turbulence, poured great consensus for international cooperation. Over the past decade, with the direct planning and personal involvement of President Xi, building a community with a shared future for mankind has been turning from an idea into action and spreading wide across the world. In a transforming world, it stands for what is right, and in the face of challenges and crises, it inspires courage and resolve. The pursuit of this vision has yielded remarkable outcomes, demonstrating the strength of an epoch-making thought. Over the past decade, the vision of building a community with a shared future for mankind has been continually enriched. From state visits to multilateral summits, President Xi has systematically on multiple international occasions expounded on this important vision and deepened the world's understanding of it. A well-established theoretical system has been developed. It includes 5 goals for the world as the overall objective, humanity's common values as the pursuit, a new type of international relations as the fundamental pathway, the Belt and Road Cooperation as the platform, the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative as important underpinnings. Over the past decade, the practice of building a community with a shared future for mankind has borne fruitful outcomes at bilateral and regional, as well as multilateral and global levels. China has built, with dozens of countries and regions, different forms of communities of shared future. The GDI and the GSI have received express support of over 100 countries. The Global Civilization Initiative received warm response from multiple countries right after it was proposed. In health, climate change, cybersecurity, and other areas where human society faces major challenges, President Xi has put forward China's proposal aiming at building a community with a shared future, providing wisdom and input for properly addressing global challenges and improving global governance. Over the past decade, the vision of building a community with a shared future for mankind has gained wider international consensus. This vision has been written into UNGA resolutions for 6 consecutive years and was included in many multilateral resolutions and declarations, such as those of the SCO and BRICS. It has won the understanding and support of the international community, in particular, developing countries. More and more countries and people have come to realize that this vision reflects the people's call for peace, justice, and progress. It creates the biggest common ground for building a beautiful world and is of great significance for enhancing unity and cooperation among countries to create a better future for mankind. Friends, the past 10 years is a journey of fruition. What we have achieved over the past 10 years has proven once again that building a community with a shared future for mankind is the right choice, one that is made based on a keen understanding of history and promotes human development. Entering the 21st century, humanity has broken the boundaries of geography, ethnicity, and culture and lives in the same global village. We are increasingly becoming a community with shared interests, shared responsibilities, and a shared future, where our interest and security are intertwined. Despite trade wars, COVID, and geopolitical crises in recent years, the tides of globalization have kept surging forward amid twists and turns. The waters in the vast ocean of the global economy have not been and will not be channeled back into isolated lakes and creeks. People across the world are keenly aware that amid escalating global crises, no country can stay unaffected or meet all challenges on its own. Only with unity and cooperation can countries escape the historical cycle of war and peace, rise and fall, and order and chaos. Building a community with a shared future for mankind is the right direction, one that is in keeping with the trend of the times and improves global governance. Any epoch-making theory must keep up with the trends and needs of the times. Outdated mentalities, such as Hegemonism and power politics have long been out of sync with the new realities of the 21st century. The world has realized that to avoid a new Cold War and the clash of civilizations, theories of international relations must be updated. A community with a shared future for mankind transcends traditional theories. It calls for peace and development over conflicts and confrontation, common security over absolute security, mutual benefit over zero-sum games, exchanges and mutual learning over the clash of civilizations, and ecological conversation for the planet. This vision has created a new model for international relations and contributed China's wisdom to improving global governance. Building a community with a shared future for mankind is integral to peaceful development and win-win cooperation. The philosophy of building such a community is derived from traditional Chinese culture that advocates the common good and harmony among all nations. It embodies the aspiration of the Chinese nation for a better society. Right now, building a community with a shared future has been incorporated into the Chinese Constitution and the Constitution of the CPC. It has become one of the essential elements of Chinese modernization. This means that China is committed to a modernization path different from those of traditional Western powers. And China takes peaceful development as a strategic choice. In the course of building such a community, China's development will be deeply interlinked with the common development of all countries, and China's own future will be closely intertwined with that of humanity. With China's new development, it will present new opportunities to the world, inject stronger impetus, and make greater contribution to peace and development for humankind. The world is now undergoing transformation unseen in a century. Geopolitical tensions are on the rise. Cold War mentality is resurging. Hegemonic, abusive, and aggressive actions are causing great harm. Non-traditional security challenges in the form of terrorism, cyber attacks, transnational crimes, and biosecurity are on the rise. Humanity once again comes to a crucial crossroads. We must offer the right answer to the questions of what kind of world should be built and how to build it. The hard lessons of two hot wars and the Cold War should not be forgotten. Bloc confrontation or zero-sum game only lead to a cul-de-sac. The hope of the entire humanity lies in building a community with a shared future. A bright future will not come by without efforts. It can only be created by all of us working together. We need to join hands to bring about enduring peace. The key is to respect sovereignty and territorial integrity of all countries, respect each other's core interests and major concerns, and respect the development paths and social systems independently chosen by all countries. We need to practice true multilateralism and promote greater equality and order in the process toward a multipolar world. We must say no to bloc confrontation and exclusionary groups and find a new path of engagement that prioritizes dialogue over confrontation and partnership over alliance. We should create a sound environment for universal security. The key is to promote the vision of common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security. Settle disagreements and disputes through dialogue and consultation. Take each other's legitimate security concerns seriously and oppose arbitrarily expanding military alliance and squeezing other countries' security space. We should ensure security in both traditional and non-traditional domains. Strengthen dialogue and cooperation in biosecurity, cybersecurity, data security, and AI security, and jointly forestall risks. We should boost confidence in common development. The key is to steer globalization toward the right direction, oppose decoupling, cutting off supply chains, and building small yards with high fences, reject protectionism and unilateral sanctions, and work for a just, equitable, and transparent set of international economic and trade rules. We should bring development back to the center of international agenda and let developing countries better participate in international division of labor and to deliver the fruits of development to people of all countries more fairly. China will host the third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation next month. We will take this opportunity to plan for development and cooperation with all parties. We should provide impetus for mutual learning between civilizations. The key is to be clear that no civilization is superior to others, and values should not be made a political tool, still less a weapon for confrontation. We should promote the vision of equality, mutual learning, dialogue, and inclusiveness between civilizations, advocate peaceful and harmonious coexistence between civilizations, and oppose hyping up the narratives of so-called democracy versus authoritarianism and imposing one's own values and models upon others. We should work together for creative ways to advance human civilization, cement popular support for the growth of relations between countries, and promote understanding and amity between people of different countries. We should take more actions to protect the eco-environment. The key is to promote the vision of harmony between man and nature. Firmly commit to respecting nature, following nature's laws, and protecting it. Drive home the idea of green development and work for steady progress in global ecological conservation. We should follow the path of low-carbon, circular, and sustainable development, foster a fair, equitable, cooperative, and win-win system of global climate governance, and jointly protect the planet we call home. Friends, the traditional Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival is around the corner. I extend my festive greetings to all of you. On that day, the occasion symbolizes reunion and harmony and reflects the ancient philosophy that all under heaven are one family and the contemporary spirit of peaceful coexistence in building a community with a shared future for mankind. We will work with all parties to hold high the banner of community with a shared future for mankind and build an open, inclusive, clean, and beautiful world that enjoys lasting peace, universal security, and common prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wang Yi. The floor is now open for questions. Please identify your media affiliation before raising your question. Thank you. With CCTV, building a community with a shared future for mankind is a major initiative proposed by President Xi Jinping with the future of the world in mind. We see that President Xi also put forth the principles of amity, sincerity, mutual benefit, and inclusiveness toward China's neighboring countries and the right approach to friendship and interests in relations with developing countries, thus providing a scientific and complete system of thought for China's diplomatic work in various fields. What is your take on the guiding role of Xi Jinping's thought on diplomacy for China's diplomacy in the new era? This is a very important question. We believe that building a community with a shared future for mankind is an important part of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with China's characteristics, and it is a core concept of Xi Jinping's thought on diplomacy. If we say that the community with a shared future for mankind represents the trend of the times that points the direction for human progress, then the principles of our neighborhood policy, which are amity, sincerity, mutual benefit, and inclusiveness, and the right approach to friendship and interests in dealing with fellow developing countries, are various components that make up this trend. President Xi Jinping has put forth a series of concepts and initiatives on diplomacy, which are coherent in theory and consistent in practice. These initiatives demonstrate the global mindset of Chinese communists and a sense of mission in pursuing the greater good, which is embedded in Chinese culture. A community with a shared future for mankind is an answer to the question of our times. In human society today, our markets have become a world market, history has become world history, and the international community has become a global village. Meanwhile, many are asking, should the decisions for our world be made by a certain country from its position of strength, or on the basis of the purposes and principles of the UN Charter? Is the international order to be defined by several individual countries, or to be governed together by all countries? Is modernization a privilege of a small few countries, or a right for all nations? The purpose of building a community with a shared future for mankind is to address these general fundamental questions and make it clear that all countries, big or small, are equal members of the international community, each shouldering its due responsibilities and each entitled to fair rights. Humanity should be a community with a shared future, featuring peaceful coexistence, fairness and justice, and win-win cooperation. Building a community with a shared future for mankind has become the overarching goal for China in conducting major country diplomacy with Chinese characteristics. This key vision is reflected in every aspect of China's diplomatic practice, including the promotion of the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative, and of course the development of the Belt and Road Initiative. All these initiatives demonstrate China's readiness to strengthen solidarity and cooperation with countries across the world, especially developing countries, and play a greater role in human progress and the modernization process. We believe that, guided by the vision of a community with a shared future for mankind, a beacon of light and future, China will make more friends and partners and will make even greater contributions to the world. Thank you. Next question, please.
A question from the Straits Times. So China's Belt and Road Initiative has been previously accused of causing ecological damage and outsourcing pollution. So as the BRI enters the next decade, how do you plan to address these concerns while prioritizing green development?
海峡时报有人称中国的“一带一路”倡议可能破坏生态环境。随着“一带一路”倡议进入下一个10年，如何解决这些关切，并将绿色发展作为优先事项？
这个问题。
Mr. Chen Liang. Mr. Cong Liang will take this question. Thank you for your question. Over the past decade, since the inception of the BRI, the principles of extensive consultation and joint contribution for shared benefits have taken roots among the people. Cooperation on policy communication, infrastructure connectivity, unimpeded trade, financial interflow, and the people-to-people bond, as well as in new areas, have seen significant progress. The BRI has become a widely popular international public good and international platform for cooperation. President Xi Jinping advocates a green, low-carbon, circular, and sustainable way of life and work. In this spirit, we see that green is the color for Belt and Road cooperation. In terms of policy system, we have rolled out policies on green Belt and Road cooperation, on ecological protection, on energy cooperation, and on not building additional coal-fired power plants overseas. In terms of partnership, we have launched the initiative for Belt and Road Partnership on Green Development and carried out the Green Silk Road Envoys program. In terms of practical cooperation, Chinese companies have participated in the investment and construction of the Janatas wind farm in Kazakhstan, as well as a large number of other clean energy projects. They have, in building the Mombasa-Nairobi railway in Kenya, constructed wildlife passages and other facilities to protect the environment. They have played an important role in the harmony between man and nature in partner countries. Since Belt and Road projects are based on the principles of joint extensive consultation, joint contribution for shared benefits, the partner countries know best, and the local people have the biggest say in whether Belt and Road cooperation is green or not, and the facts speak louder than words. Before tangible outcomes of such cooperation, any smearing against the Green Silk Road development is naturally invalidated by facts, and any attempts to disrupt Belt and Road cooperation in the name of environmental protection would not succeed. China will continue to work with partner countries to protect the environment, promote development, and benefit the people. Specifically, we will do the following three aspects of things. First, we will fully consolidate the foundation for green development cooperation, increase the synergy between Green Silk Road cooperation and the United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda, and deliver concrete results from our major cooperation projects. Second, we will vigorously expand the space for green development cooperation, further improve the BRI International Green Development Coalition and other platforms, focus on infrastructure, energy, transport, finance, science and technology, standards, and climate response, and seek green development together. Third, we will continue to strengthen capacity building on green development, take a full green transition in socio-economic development as a long-term policy, increase support for green Belt and Road cooperation, and help partner countries build internal drivers for green development. Thank you. Next question, please.
With China Daily. My question is about political party diplomacy. In recent years, the IDCPC has played host to several high-level meetings of world political parties. Various party-to-party exchanges at the regional and bilateral level has also been very active. So my question is, what progress has the CPC made in party diplomacy, and how will the party press ahead? Mr. Guo Yezhou will take the question. Thank you for the question. As you rightly observed, since the new era, the CPC has been very active in its international exchanges. It shows that political parties, governing parties in particular, play an important role in the country's political life and its international relations, and that political parties serve as an irreplaceable force in advancing human progress and the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. Committed to steering the course, we have gathered the strength of political parties for building a better world. General Secretary Xi Jinping has provided guidance to and attended major events such as the CPC in dialogue with world political parties high-level meetings, and had in-depth exchanges with political party leaders of other countries on different occasions, calling for joint efforts to build a community with a shared future for mankind and a better world, and inspiring political parties to undertake their mission and responsibility. Committed to making more close friends, we have gathered the strength of political parties for fostering a new paradigm of international exchanges. We have deepened relations with political parties in our neighborhood and other developing countries, promoted institutionalized exchanges with those in developed countries, created new cooperation highlights within the existing regional and international frameworks, and pressed ahead with bilateral and multilateral engagement with other political parties. With this, the CPC's network of friends has grown larger than ever. Political party leaders and people of all walks of life have expressed their shared desire to advance human progress and build a community with a shared future for mankind together with us. Committed to practical cooperation, we have gathered the strength of political parties for promoting global development and prosperity. Through party-to-party communication and cooperation, we have facilitated practical cooperation on COVID-19 response, economic recovery, poverty reduction, food security, green development, and digital economy. We have established the political party joint consultation mechanism with Belt and Road countries and set up dialogue platforms for the business community through the party channel to strive for common prosperity. Committed to exchanges on thoughts and ideas, we have gathered the strength strength of political parties for promoting exchanges and mutual learning among civilizations. In response to the calls of political parties of different countries, we have, during our interactions with them in and outside China, expounded on Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, shared our experience on party and state governance, and learned from other countries' political achievements in a bid to improve leadership and governance capacity together. We also encourage people-to-people exchanges organized by party-affiliated social organizations and strive for substantial progress in Belt and Road people-to-people connectivity on the new journey for building a stronger nation and realizing national rejuvenation will deepen exchanges and mutual learning with other political parties to steer national development, explore paths to modernization, and advocate and practice the vision of a community with a shared future for mankind. Thank you.
东区第3排中间那位女士。
Thank you. My name is Claudia Tali. I'm from Papua New Guinea, Postcard newspaper. I'm currently engaged with the CIPCC. So my question is, poverty is an obstacle to global development, and many third world countries, populations are living in poverty still. So what is China's approach to helping alleviate poverty in these countries? Thank you.
谢谢。
翻译一下。
巴布亚新几内亚信使邮报。贫穷是全球发展的障碍，许多第三世界国家的人口仍生活在贫困中。中国帮助缓解这些国家贫困的方法是什么？谢谢。
这个问题请赵丰涛先生回答。
Mr. Zhao Fengtao will take this question.
谢谢记者朋友。
Thank you very much.
消除贫困是人类的
Ending poverty is a shared dream of all humanity. It is also the #1 goal of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. President Xi Jinping pays close attention to the global campaign to end poverty. In the Global Development Initiative, the GDI, proposed by China, poverty alleviation tops the 8 priority areas. China has all along been pursuing its own development while contributing to common development globally. It has been advocating for, promoting, and contributing to global poverty reduction efforts. We have worked primarily on 4 fronts. First, we have carried out livelihood improvement demonstration programs to share experience on poverty reduction. China has helped other developing countries deliver over 6,000 projects to improve livelihood and enhance the region's capacity for sustainable development. For instance, hybrid rice technology was introduced to around 70 countries across 5 continents. Juncao, or mushroom farming technology, is applied in more than 100 countries. Demonstration centers on agricultural technology were up and running in over 30 countries. Poverty reduction demonstration programs have made impoverished rural areas better off. Second, we have helped build transportation infrastructure to facilitate poverty reduction. An important experience we learned is that convenient transportation preludes economic prosperity. A priority of Belt and Road Initiative is to strengthen connectivity and drive socio-economic development. In the past decade, the BRI has spurred close to $1 trillion of investment, helping to lift 40 million people out of poverty. Just to give you a few examples, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor made considerable progress. Ethiopia now has an expressway, the first of its kind in East Africa. A cross-sea bridge in the Maldives has made transportation so much easier, meeting long-held wish of the local population. Third, we have pooled resources to advance poverty reduction through development. President Xi Jinping proposed the GDI and announced to develop a Global Development and South-South Cooperation Fund, under which $4 billion are committed. Under the GDI, China has signed MOUs with financial institutions offering special funds to the tunes of over $10 billion. China establishes a GDI project pool that currently includes more than 200 projects. All these are injecting strong impetus into global poverty reduction. Fourth, we have shared governance experience and facilitated poverty reduction through know-how sharing. We believe that sharing know-how will better enable development. We share experience on poverty reduction and Chinese modernization with other developing countries through training programs or think tank exchanges. We have helped train over 20 million professionals from more than 160 countries in this regard. In particular, we make use of the Luban workshops for vocational skills development and helped train a large number of skilled workers in more than 20 countries. We do understand that China only thrives when the world prospers, and that the world will be better off when China develops. China will increase input into global development cooperation, accelerate efforts to implement the 2030 Agenda, and make new contributions to building a community with a shared future for mankind. Thank you. Phoenix TV. Recently, a number of overseas cooperation projects have been completed and have received extensive positive feedback from the relevant countries and regions and from the people. Could you elaborate on the progress of China's overseas cooperation projects and what role do they play in local economic and social development? How do you plan to promote such cooperation in the future? Mr. Cong Liang will take this question. Thank you. Over the past decade, we have pursued Belt and Road cooperation in line with market principles and international customary practices, giving full play to the main role of the companies and providing coordination and facilitation. Our cooperation projects overseas have seen positive progress. For example, the China-Laos Railway has been running safe and stable for 21 months, transporting over 20.9 million passengers and more than 25.36 million tons of cargoes. It is now connected to the China-Europe Railway. In another instance, the Jakarta-Bandung Railway has been up and running and providing convenience to the Indonesian people. It will greatly boost local economic development. In addition, after COSCO ship became a shareholder, the port of Piraeus has increased its cargo throughput from 880,000 TEUs in 2010 to more than 5 million TEUs in 2022, back among the top 10 global ports in shipping index. And then, since the launch of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, the Karakoram Highway has been running well, and the port of Gwadar has seen major progress. Meanwhile, we have been working with relevant countries to co-build hospitals, schools, water facilities, and other livelihood projects, which have been highly welcomed by the local people. These cooperation projects in other countries has brought effective investment, promoted growth, spread technology, increased jobs, and improved livelihoods in host countries. For example, in conducting the China-Laos Railway project, we created 110,000 jobs, helped build more than 2,000 kilometers of roads and canals for the local communities, and trained a large number of technical and management talents. In the project of Piraeus Port in Greece, we created 13,000 jobs and contributed directly 300 million euros to the local economy. And then the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor has laid a solid foundation for the infrastructure connectivity and industrialization in Pakistan and created directly 155,000 jobs for that country. China has now signed third-party market cooperation documents with 14 countries to jointly work to promote economic development and improvement of livelihoods in third countries. In the future, the NDRC will work with relevant authorities to continue pursuing Belt and Road cooperation in the spirit of extensive consultation and joint contribution for shared benefits. and deliver high-standard, sustainable outcomes that benefit the people. We will work with our partner countries to strengthen synergy between our policies, mechanisms, and projects, guide the companies to cooperate in market principles and in accordance with international customary practices, continue to build high-quality and landmark projects, as well as small and beneficial projects, so that other people of all countries will benefit from our complementarity of strength and mutually beneficial cooperation.
Good morning, sir. Thank you. This is Ali, journalist from Pakistan. First of all, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the MFA for this valuable opportunity to participate in today's press conference. So my question is, with this great initiative and outstanding idea, I have some questions. What role does cultural exchange play in building a community with shared future of mankind? This is my first question. And the second is, what challenges are there for building such community? Thank you so much.
请翻译一下。
巴基斯坦城市新闻网，非常高兴参加今天的发布会。我有以下几个问题：第一，人文交流对构建人类命运共同体有什么作用？第二，构建人类命运共同体面临怎样的挑战？谢谢。
这位记者朋友的问题，请李群先生回答。
Mr. Li Chun will take this question.
这位记者朋友，您
Thank you very much.
注意到
You might have noticed that at the just concluded 45th session of the UNESCO World Heritage Committee, the old tea forest of Jingmai Mountain in the city of Pu'er was inscribed on the World Heritage List. This is the first time that a Chinese tea is listed as a cultural heritage. This is the latest example of China's engagement in and contribution to international cultural exchanges. Building a community with a shared future for mankind is at the core of Xi Jinping's thought on diplomacy. An important pathway to forge such a community is to strengthen people-to-people and cultural exchanges, as they focus primarily on people. This idea of human centrism is widely shared among traditional Chinese culture and philosophies of other nations around the world. Therefore, China juxtaposes people-to-people exchanges with political mutual trust and economic cooperation, making them the three pillars in diplomacy. As we speak, transformations unseen in a century are unfolding. The global landscape witnesses shifting dynamics. Impact of the pandemic still lingers. Peace deficit, security deficit, and governance deficits are posing challenges to people-to-people exchanges. President Xi Jinping places high importance on international people-to-people exchanges. He proposed the Global Civilization Initiative, GCI, and advocates for a global network of dialogues between civilizations to facilitate mutual understanding and friendship, and for humanity to make progress together. China has actively carried out people-to-people exchanges. We have signed documents with 157 countries on cultural artifact and tourism cooperation and entered into agreements with 25 countries to prevent illegal cross-border flow of artifacts. In the past decade, we have worked with many others to organize more than 500 exhibitions of artifacts in each other's countries. Our experts also carried out cultural relic protection and restoration projects in 11 cultural sites across 6 countries, including in Uzbekistan and Cambodia. We conducted 44 joint archaeology programs with 24 countries and brought back more than 1,800 pieces of lost artifacts. We joined others to establish the Asian Cultural Heritage Alliance and set up a relevant fund. We have organized events under the themes of Happy Spring Festival and Tea and the World. We also planned and executed the Cultural Silk Road programs and the Hello China promotion events. All these have helped promote cooperation on culture and tourism and boosted economic and social development. The Chinese civilization is characterized by continuity, ingenuity, unity, inclusiveness, and the pursuit of peace. By carrying out people-to-people exchanges, the Chinese government contributes to the world's cultural diversity and enhances the inclusiveness and sustainability of global economic and social development. Looking ahead, our department will continue to act on the Global Civilization Initiative, strengthen cultural exchanges, work even harder to promote world peace and cooperation, and make further progress in human civilization. Thank you.
由于时间关系，最后一个问题。
这边第二排这位先生。
谢谢主持人。我是美国彭博社的记者。The United States will be hosting the APEC Leaders Summit very soon in San Francisco in November. Will Chinese President Xi Jinping be attending? And will that decision, what will that suggest about the role and importance of multilateral events and how China carries out head of state diplomacy? Thank you.
请翻译一下。
彭博新闻社记者，美国将于11月举办亚太经合组织第13次领导人非正式会议，习近平主席是否会出席会议？中方在开展元首外交的过程中，如何看待多边外交的作用？
这个问题还是由王毅先生回答。
Foreign Minister Wang will take this question. China is a responsible country. We are never absent in important multilateral fora to which China is a part. Regarding your question on the attendance to the APEC, we are in communications with relevant parties, and we will make announcements in due time. You mentioned multilateral diplomacy. Multilateral diplomacy is an important avenue for China's participation in global governance and to build a community with a shared future for mankind. It is also an important platform for head of state diplomacy. President Xi Jinping places high importance on multilateral diplomacy. China is playing an increasingly bigger role in global governance. Our attitude on global governance, to put it simply, is to advocate and practice true multilateralism, because we believe that to build a community with a shared future for mankind, we must oppose all forms of unilateralism, bloc confrontation, and power politics. We must firmly uphold the authority and status of the United Nations and firmly commit to the vision of global governance, featuring extensive consultation, joint contribution for shared benefit. Global affairs must be decided and discussed by all, and the fruit of global governance should be shared by all. APEC is a mechanism for economic cooperation in the Asia-Pacific with the highest level of participation, the widest scope, and the biggest impact. The 13th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting coming up toward the end of the year should be a big platform to promote cooperation and not an arena for confrontation. As the largest developing country in the world and an important member of APEC, China stands ready to, as the world would expect, play a constructive role for the success of APEC meeting this year. At the same time, as other parties, we also hope that the United States can be conscious of its responsibility as the host, show openness, fairness, inclusiveness, and sense of responsibility as it is expected, and create more favorable conditions for a smooth APEC meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wang. Thank you all. This concludes today's press conference. Thank you.